what's up, everyone? Welcome back. The results are back from my first game jam. So let's check them out and see where did I do good, what did I do wrong. And at the end of the video, I will try to summarize my main takeaways and things to improve for next time. So first of all, let's just scroll into it. So as you can see, I joined the game of 2020, which ran in November, from November 1st until the end of December. And within December, we had some time to rate the games, and we had a final rating. There were in total 500 entries, 6,800 ratings, which is really great. So a lot of feedback has been given. I also posted a lot of videos. If you can check my channel, I think I rated around 100 games or 120. Yeah, you can see have rated 130, and most of the good games I rated, but I also missed some, I think, which I saw in a video, in a summary video. And this was really impressive, a great experience for me to see how creative people can be and how good people can actually create specific mechanics and also music and an overall package, which is just very successful. So, well, let's see how I did. Let's get into the ranks. And so the first game was a trip to the moon. I also have one video of it. Please check that out. I think in general, I also thought this was really amazing. It had cutscenes. The gameplay was really well. The audio was amazing. It's just really good music, and the graphics were just kind of special. It had this really great vibe around of it, and that made it for me actually super innovative and a great game overall. The second place was also super well deserved, Power Lunar. It had great game mechanics, and it was overall really well polished. Of course, there were some mistakes here and there, but it was just a really good game. I could see this to be a commercial game right away. I actually recommended them to do this as well. There is a lot of other games, and in general, what you notice that the games did good, and of course, the first game was, I think, made by a small team as well, because it had such a big scope, but it was the full package, which was really well. So the audio was really well, the graphics were unique, and the gameplay was good. It was very accessible. So in the trip to the moon, I would play and you could respawn in the same level again very easily. It was not unforgiving. You could play it until the end. You would make it. The same for Power Lunar. There were a lot of checkpoints, and it would make it more fun to try the boss again. And there was also these special games which just had this very interesting themes, and which are really, really just well made. Overall, this could be also one of those commercial games. Then there were also these submissions, which were just very easy. A catapult, just shooting the cat into the space, but it was just working very well. And that's probably why it has such a high rank. Anyway, let's get to my game. Also, Skyjunk, by the way, is a super game. I mean, definitely try it out. I also played it. It's really nice. But let's go find my game. Perhaps I passed my. Oh, there it is. Wow. So I got ranked 139th out of 500 submissions with 57 ratings, which is nice. I mean, I gave 130 ratings, but still a lot of people actually tried my game. And let's have a look at where the scores are at. So the graphics, even though I was quite satisfied with them, didn't rank that high, but of course you could still debate out of 500 that it's not so bad for a first game jam. Innovation was not very innovative. In the gameplay, you can see the gameplay was not very good. And when reading through the comments, um, I can find a lot. It's a bit too difficult. There is not much room for error. What else? Wall jumps are awkward. If the rocket explodes, you have to start from the very first platform. So that means some people, I suppose they don't want to finish the game until the end because they just like losing lives, restart the whole game. Yeah. And what the other games had, in particular the ones in the top 10, is that they were not very unforgiving, right? They were very accessible to play. So it was perhaps also easier and more fun to continue. I mean, in my game, it's like hardcore, but we shouldn't just punish the people to play the game. Of course, there is also a lot of nice comments, awesome. I mean, there's a lot of effort in the game. This is very kind. And as you can see, you can also see that how good it is to join a game jam because you can get so much qualitative feedback from the people. I mean, the audio level were a bit high overall. The audio was a bit jarring on the rocket. The jumping was repetitive. Also, I didn't add any music. I just had some ambient sounds, and the other games had really awesome music. And you can just get free music online somewhere, right? Like YouTube library, you can just download and use them, no problem. And there's a lot of free stuff online which you can use, depending, of course, on the rules of the game jam. Here it was allowed, so I just used those assets. Let's see what else we had. Well, let's see. You can also see that there are some bugs found, and people actually post then also the bugs, which is really great. So to summarize in the end, I think my main conclusions are the following. Number one, don't be too ambitious. My game was too big, and some of the core mechanics, no one actually had the chance to play them because they already gave up after the first or second platform because the mechanics were just not very good. So that brings me to number two. Don't make your game too difficult. I mean, if the people cannot finish it or actually come to a certain part of the game which would be more fun, a fun cutscene, I mean, it's just unfortunate. It's you wasted your time. I think from all the feedbacks which I got, only one person made it to the end, and I bet he really spent some significant amount of time. So it shouldn't be a Dark Souls-like entry, even though we tend to make more difficult games because once you are developing a game, you are obviously the best at this game and it feels easy to you, but it might be super difficult for other people. Therefore, let's add a checkpoint system to the next jam so that people at least can experience your game until the end and that you can show some of the core mechanics early on. Audio is also very important. Don't be slacking on audio, especially if you can just use free assets. It's easy just to find some music on the internet which kind of fits your theme and then just play that in the background. It already gives you a totally new dimension to your game. Also adding some more sounds to the movement of your character, like a jump. It can be one sound, but it can also be more sounds or changing the pitch. So I will definitely try to do this in my next game. And finally, I think the biggest flaw of my game this time was that the WebGL version was just not very well as well. So the performance when playing on itch.io was just bad, and in combination with already very difficult controls, I mean, it made it just terrible to play this game online. And of course, for the people who downloaded it, they could experience how it should be, but even for them, the game was still difficult. So if you're gonna make a game, make sure, or I will make sure at least, to have the performance of the WebGL version to be a high level performance so that people can play it to its full extent and not have any lag issues or anything. Well, those were my main takeaways. There's of course a million more in the comments, as you can see. And definitely please try out my game as well if you haven't had the chance yet. It's on my itch.io page. There's a link below in the description. And I hope it's helpful for you once you participate in a game jam. And I made a separate video on why you definitely should do this, so please check that out, and I will catch you all in the next video. Have a good one. Cheers.